At first, Ezra McCandless looked like the victim. She appeared barefoot on a quiet Wisconsin road, covered in blood, clothes torn, shaking, confused. She told police she couldn't remember what happened, only that she had been attacked. And for a moment, the story almost worked. Because what investigators would later uncover wasn't self-defense. It was a story Ezra tried to write, with someone else cast as the villain, and someone else paying with their life. This is the murder of Alex Woodworth. Part 1. Obsession, triangles, and a fear of being left. Ezra McCandless lived her life caught between identities, emotional, romantic, and personal. By 2018, she was in a relationship with a man named Jason Mingle, but it was already unstable. Arguments were frequent, trust was thin. Then Ezra met Alex Woodworth. Alex was a barista, quiet, creative, gentle, and openly affectionate. Where Jason was distant, Alex listened. Where Jason pulled away, Alex leaned in. What started as emotional closeness quickly became an affair. For a while, Ezra tried to juggle both men, but secrets don't stay hidden forever. Jason eventually found out about the affair, and when he did, everything changed. He didn't fight for Ezra, he didn't beg, he simply walked away. That rejection hit Ezra harder than losing Alex ever could. Suddenly, Alex wasn't a secret escape anymore. He was a reminder of why Jason had left. Ezra panicked. She flooded Jason with messages, long texts, apologies, explanations, promises to change. She showed up uninvited. She asked mutual friends to intervene. Nothing worked. Jason was done. Desperate, Ezra made a disturbing choice. She asked Alex himself to help her get Jason back. She told Alex she needed closure, that she wanted Jason to see the affair meant nothing. Alex, still emotionally attached, still hoping for reconciliation, agreed to meet her. That decision would cost him his life. Behind the scenes, Ezra was already forming a narrative, not just for Jason, but for everyone else. A story where she wasn't rejected, a story where she wasn't responsible, a story where Alex became the villain. She began laying emotional groundwork, telling people Alex was unstable, jealous, aggressive. She planted the idea that he was dangerous. But ideas weren't enough anymore. Ezra wanted a permanent solution, one that erased Alex completely and rewrote the past in her favor, and she was willing to kill to do it. Part 2. The plan, the murder, and the performance. Invited Alex on a drive, framing it as a final conversation. No confrontation, no anger, just closure. They drove to a remote area outside Merrill, Wisconsin, isolated, quiet, and perfect for what Ezra had planned. Alex didn't know it, but he was walking into a staged ending. At some point during the drive, Ezra pulled over. The conversation turned tense. And then, without warning, she attacked. Ezra stabbed Alex 16 times. There was no struggle for control, no self-defense, no sudden panic. This was deliberate. After Alex collapsed, Ezra didn't call for help. She didn't scream. She didn't run. She began staging. She smashed Alex's phone so he couldn't be identified or traced. She cut her own clothes. She inflicted wounds on herself. Shallow, controlled, intentional. Then she carved a single word into her arm. Boy. The message was meant to do two things at once. Suggest Alex mocked her identity. Paint him as hateful, violent, and predatory. It was calculated, emotionally manipulative, and deeply cruel. When Ezra finally appeared at a nearby farmhouse, she claimed she didn't know where she was. She said she had been attacked. She said Alex had snapped. Police were called. At first glance, the scene supported her story. Injuries, torn clothing, blood, disorientation. But investigators noticed something immediately. The injuries didn't match her story. The carving on her arm, which she said Alex did, was in a place impossible for another person to carve during an attack. The angle was wrong. The pressure was controlled, and the timeline didn't make sense. Ezra wasn't hysterical. She was rehearsed. Under questioning, her story shifted. Details changed. Memory came and went conveniently. And slowly, the performance began to crack. Part 3. The lies collapse and the truth emerges. For weeks, Ezra stuck to her version of events. She insisted Alex attacked her, that she acted in fear, that she was the victim. But evidence doesn't care about storytelling. Forensic analysis showed Alex's wounds were fatal long before any defensive action could have occurred. The self-inflicted injuries were inconsistent with a struggle, and phone data showed deliberate actions after the killing. 2 weeks later, Ezra finally broke. She admitted the truth. She confessed that Alex never attacked her, that she carved the word herself, that she staged the scene. And with that confession, the entire case snapped into focus. Ezra was arrested and charged with first-degree intentional homicide. At trial, prosecutors laid out the full picture. The affair, the obsession with Jason, the planning, the staging, the lies. They showed the jury how Ezra tried to turn sympathy into armor, how she weaponized identity and victimhood to escape responsibility. The defense argued mental health struggles. They argued emotional instability. But the jury saw intent. They saw preparation. They saw manipulation. Ezra McCandless was found guilty and sentenced to life in prison. Alex Woodworth, the quiet barista who trusted the wrong person, never got his future back. Ezra McCandless didn't just kill Alex Woodworth. She tried to erase him and replace him with a lie. This wasn't a crime of passion. It was a crime of narrative control. And in the end, the story she tried to write is the story that exposed her. If you want more cases where the truth had to fight its way out, you already know what to do.